Now we're ready. We are ready to shoot episode 4 here on TicTacTeq. Thank you very much for joining us today. Today we have a special episode. We are going to talk tequila only. So even though it's episode 4, it's actually episode 1 for tequila only. So remember, TicTacTeq. Tic is for timepieces, Tac is for tacos, and Teq is for tequila. In front of me today, what we have are what is called Cristalino Tequilas. Now, we're going to go, this is an intro class. We're going to have fun. The next episode, maybe not the next one, maybe a couple of other episodes, you'll see me and a couple of guests, maybe just 1, 2. Who knows who will come? We're actually going to taste these tequilas. They are cristalino, which means they go through the regular process of making a tequila. But if you notice, they're all colorless. They use a process through activated charcoal to get rid of all the colors and all of the impurities that a regular tequila may have in order to get a special tasting note. So these tequilas typically have vanilla notes, chocolate notes. They have a really, really good finish. And if you are new to tequila, which I hope you are because this is an intro class, we'll go through all of this together. Now, tequila, to be called tequila, is made in a state called Jalisco in Mexico. It's would be on the western side of Mexico South, not too far from Mexico City. There's 5 classes. Remember this. If you don't know anything about tequila and you're going to a party or people saying, just bring a tequila bottle, there's 5 typical classes of tequila. The first one is blanco or plata or silver. That's colorless like this one, no color. But what it is that it actually gets distilled, it ferments, distilled, and it's either bottled straight out after it's been distilled, or it can't stay. It'll stay in a stainless steel cask for maximum 2 months, okay? That's your blanco or your silver, your plata. The next level, second category that you may want to remember, it's called joven, which means young, okay? A lot of us know it as gold. It has a little bit of color, but typically the flavors have been enhanced, not through barrels, but just through its young state. So we start with blanco or plata, silver, then we go to joven or gold. And then the third level of tequila is reposado, which means it has rested. And what it means by rested, reposado, is normally resting in a oak barrel. Now, why do they call it reposado? It has to be in a barrel for 2 months minimum to up to a year. If it's been aged that long, we call it reposado. So number 1, blanco, plata, silver. 2, joven. 3, reposado. Number 4 is añejo, which means old. Old means it's been in a barrel for, you guessed it, 1 year and can be sometimes up to 3 years, okay? But most of the time, they once they get to that year and they get the taste that they want of all of the distillers in Mexico, they call it an añejo. And then there's a new class, and the new class started around 2006, I believe. It's called extra añejo, and that could be, it's 3 years plus. Now, as tequila is getting more and more popular in the world of spirits, it wouldn't surprise me if eventually, like I was mentioning, the añejo is actually 3 years and up. You might see an extra añejo, you might see double X, so on and so forth. Might be 5 years, 10 years, 10, 32, similar to what the single malt Scotch whiskeys have been doing for a little while. So here's your list. Now, 5 categories. There's a couple of things that you need to know if you're going to go buy some tequila. Remember these letters, N-O-M. These all have it, okay? N-O-M means Norma Oficial Mexicana. So this is the body that will actually grant a distiller a number, and it's a 4-digit number that actually qualifies the tequila and says, yes, you meet the norm, okay? A lot of vintners have that for wine. They're trying to establish a standard in tequila, and the NOM, which is on the bottle, if you look in the back, if you see here, so for example, this Casa Amigo, the NOM is right here in the back. And their number is 1609 for Casa Amigo. By the way, Casa Amigo, if you don't know the story, 3 business partners came together. One of them, George Clooney, who you might know, brought the brand up. It was sold to Diageo in 2017. Look it up. Great story. The other tequila here, actually, that I have as well is Gran Coramino. Guess who is a partner in this? One of your favorite comedians, Kevin Hart, and his business partner, Juan Domingo Beckman, started this tequila. So these 2 tequilas are, and there's a whole bunch of other tequilas. We'll feature them from celebrities going down the road here. But for episode 1, we're going to keep it at that. 1800 Cristalino, that's a staple. And then Maestro Dobel 50, the gentleman that introduced me to this tequila, he'll be here when we're doing the tasting, and then we'll show about those notes here. But all of these follow norm, and then the next letters that you want to see on a bottle of tequila is the word CRT, okay? Which is Consejo Regulador del Tequila, okay? And if it has the CRT label, which is right here, you can see it right here. Well, maybe not you, but maybe we'll get a close-up shot here eventually. Those are the 2 listings that you want to make sure that any bottle has. So, quick reminder, we have 2, in this case. I'm going to test your ability to learn here today. Introductory class, 5 types of tequila. They all come from Jalisco. They all have 100% blue agave or agave plant as their base, where they get their sugars from. If they don't, if they're 49% something else or 51, they can't call it really tequila. These 2 are what we call reposado. So remember what reposado, it means that it was less than 1 year in barrels, and after they took it out of the barrels, they actually put it through a charcoal filtration process to get it this nice clear color, okay? We have 1 añejo cristalino that we will taste next time, which is 1 year to 3 years in an oak cask. I'm not sure which type of wood they use, but I'm assuming it's going to be oak. I'll research it a little bit more for our next episode. So this is the 1800 Cristalino and Añejo. And then we have the Maestro Dobel 50, which is an extra Añejo, which is a minimum of 3 years. This one here. So we'll taste all those. They all have the NOM and the CRT designation. And one of the things that's kind of interesting is if you look at this tequila here, this is what an Añejo that has not gone through the charcoal process, this is what the normal color normally is, okay? And a lot of people ask me, what are some of the greatest things to eat with tequila? And if you ever want to know how to get the notes, is you put it in a glass, this is a whiskey glass, but you bring it to the nose so you don't get that oomph of the alcohol that comes to you. But if you take your time and you start appreciating the tasting notes, it becomes very interesting at a party. So instead of just doing margaritas and mixed drinks, you can actually have fun with this. And one of the greatest things that I like to eat when I'm hosting a party with tequila are oysters. And luckily for me, I'm from New Brunswick, Canada. That's my home. That's where I'm from. We have some of the best oysters in Canada. However, I recently met Anne Brassard. Anne Brassard is the owner. She's an oyster grower from Outer Banks Oysters. I met her yesterday, so I'm going to do a shout out to her. And she provided me with these amazing, amazing oysters from North Carolina, and they are just delicious with some tequila. They are briny, salty, they're plump, and they're some of the best things to actually pair with tequila. So with that, have a great day, and I hope you've enjoyed this quick introduction to tequila.